Welcome to my world. Another day, another time, another period for knowledge acquisition. Knowledge is power, health is wealth. Today's topic is cell phone effect on health. The cell phone is a very useful gadget, both in the house and it's very useful for communication. How does it work? What energy or what does it use to really transform to what we are seeing? It uses the electromagnetic radiation. And electromagnetic radiation has various frequencies. Yes, with the lower frequencies, one will feel safe, but there is always the experience of heat. You really feel that the energy is being converted to heat energy, and that is what you feel more. But there are other findings, and that's what I want to expose with this video. So come along with me to the slide section where I display more of the findings, and also if you like my presentation, press the like button, subscribe, and more videos of high quality will be exposed to you. The objective: to create the necessary awareness that there are some radiation-induced health problems like cardiovascular diseases that are associated with cell phone usage. The introduction. The cell phone works using the electromagnetic radiation of the radio frequency range to transmit information by communicating with other cell phones through other available network or the base station in the environment. In a nutshell, the all environment, our whole environment is full of low radio frequency electromagnetic radiation, and these electromagnetic radiation includes the visible lights that helps us to see. Our eye is able to detect the visible light. That's why we can see clearly all the things around us. So in a nutshell, the electromagnetic radiation is very, very useful and detectable by various things. The radio can detect it, and that's why you call the low frequency the radio frequency. Yeah, this is just to demonstrate the electromagnetic radiation. You can see the electric field and the magnetic field and the phone. The electric field creates its own waves, whereas the magnetic field creates that blue waves. And both of them, the wave is what is called the radiation, and the frequency is what penetrates. As it moves along, it carries energy. The higher the energy, the higher the frequency. Now let's have a practical demonstration. You can look at the wavelength to the left, the blue area. You will see the wavelengths that are large, not repeating itself quickly. You have the radio waves there. That is, you can say they have low frequency. The high frequency is in the area of the gamma waves. But after the radio wave, you have the microwaves and the infrared. All these are not so full of energy. They are not so ionizing as shown there. You can see that the energy is the red line at the arrow at the bottom, which increases as it goes towards the gamma waves, the gamma rays. And that is very instructive, that the higher the frequency, it can penetrate and do serious damages. At low frequencies, they cannot penetrate that much and they don't carry much energy. So the visible light is at the middle where you have the bulb. After that, you have the ultraviolet and the X-ray. World Health Organization key facts. This is highlighting the facts as far as the WHO is concerned. One, the main effect of radio frequency electromagnetic field is eating of body tissues. That is what we usually notice with all phones. Majority of these heavy phones that you carry, and once you are using it, it becomes very hot. It is up. According to WHO, extremely low frequency and radio frequency EMF are unlikely to cause any adverse health effect. There is no doubt that short-term exposure to very high level of electromagnetic field can be harmful to health. That is acceptance number one. And then there is also from the International Agency for Research on Cancer. A WHO agency was assigned to define the link between use of mobile phone and head neck cancers. As a result, the IARC has classified radio frequency EMF as possibly carcinogenic to human, group 2B. Let us look at other research findings that shows the adverse effect of cell phone. The human body is subjected to perpetual electromagnetic exposure from mobile telephony infrastructure, particularly from the tower-based station. That is the finding of Levitt. The growth of wireless network technology such as wireless local area LAN and hotspots include Wi-Fi network can also result in exposure to excessive radiation at radio frequency, and that's another excessive that must be noted. Also, over the last few decades, it has been revealed that these electromagnetic radiation at extremely low frequency are capable of increasing the production of free radicals. Is that free radicals that is instructed, including hydroxyl free radicals, which can cause DNA double-strand breaks. So all these are very, very important, even though it's a low frequency, but it can cause the production of radicals, free radicals, and we know the effect of free radicals on aging and on the cancer damage to DNA. Now, let us look at cell phone. The cell phone radiation-induced cardiovascular disease. Radiation-induced heart dysfunction. You have the list endless. Pericarditis, conduction abnormalities, myocardial fibrosis, myocardial ischemia, microvascular disease, dysfunctional valves, and coronary artery disease. The fact remains that it is not cell phone alone that will cause this, and that's why it is very difficult to really ascribe the problem totally to the radiation induced. But it has been found from researches that there is that tendency to have an increased likelihood when you look at other risk factors joined with this cell phone to now increase the problem of this heart dysfunction. And that is why one must be very, very careful, especially when you are talking of rhythmic heart problems. That is also shown in this picture to enlarge and acquire more knowledge on these cell phone and cardiovascular diseases. A new study finds an association between making cell phone calls and increased cardiovascular risk. Compared with those who made the fewest calls, those who used their phone the most had a 21% increased risk of experiencing a cardiovascular event. A significant and positive dose-response relationship was seen between weekly cell phone usage time and the risk for cardiovascular disease. The positive association was stronger in current versus non-current smokers and people with various other diseases or without diabetes. So different extents, sleep patterns, psychological distress, and neuroticism mediated the relationship between weekly cell phone usage time and the risk for incident cardiovascular disease. This percentage is very, very instructive, that you cannot pin everything on cell phone. Yes, the laboratory diagnosis is an area where you detect all these findings, and you must have the EMF meter for measuring the electromagnetic field, and you do other search the present situation of the patient. You have questionnaire. You may need to also do the cardiac marker test to know the variables that could also affect the cardiovascular cause the problem. The tumor marker test is also necessary, especially when we are now talking of ROS, radicals, free radicals being present and what have you. So it is a very serious study, and any other variables that are likely to change as a result of electromagnetic radiation influences. These are all that the laboratory will be useful in helping to diagnose that, yes, the cell phone is truly injurious. Yes, the conclusion finally. There are so many conclusive researches, yes, but regardless, we must hold on to something. And these as a result of the limitation of excluding other co-founders of cardiovascular disease. But like I said, finally, the conclusion. There are so many inconclusive researches because of the limitations of excluding other co-founders of cardiovascular disease. You need to really have a situation where the person is like a virgin, having no other problems, then you now expose and have a serious study. However, there should be in place measures to reduce time spent on mobile phones to promote the primary prevention of cardiovascular disease. On the other hand, improving sleep and mental health status may help reduce the higher risk of cardiovascular disease associated with mobile phone users. In the final analysis, it is a cost-benefit ratio analysis that will determine the time spent on cell phone. Nobody is saying cell phone should be banned, but at least increasing the frequency to higher radiation when it becomes more ionizing is dangerous. So so much as we are interested in penetrating more, exploring wider areas and find usage for the cell phone, we must be also careful of the health risk. If you like my presentation, please watch more videos on this YouTube channel.